share with you a sample lesson plan example. Hello everyone, my name is Alejandra Landano and welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, you find lots of different videos specifically about teaching and working online from home. In today's video, I'm actually sharing with you a lesson plan example. This is a great video for those going through the application process or current Outschool teachers. I'm going to share with you a lesson plan template and then go step by step how you can fill out that lesson plan template. If you need a lesson plan template, I definitely recommend you look in the description box. In the description box, I actually have linked my own freebie that I have created for Outschool teachers. This freebie is sort of like a guide to help you create a simple Outschool class. For today's video though, I am actually going to take you on the computer so I can go through the entire process step by step. Okay, so here I am to my freebie. I'm going to skip down a few pages. You can do this first page by yourself, and we're going to focus on this page here. So here you're going to try to identify your class type. You're going to create a lesson objective, and then you're also going to plan some class rules. So here, the first one's pretty easy. I always recommend you start with a one-time class. So I'm simply going to circle one-time class. That is always what I recommend you start with as an Outschool teacher. Then you're going to create your lesson objective. You need to think and decide, what do you want your students to learn or do really in this class? Now I have an example here, and I'm actually going to create another example for the actual class I'm planning right now. Okay, and I have created my lesson objective. It does not have to be perfect. In this class, students will identify rhymes through song and fun activities. But you really want to think about, what is the purpose of students signing up for your class? If they had to learn one thing from your class, what would that one thing be? Of course, you can have more than one lesson objective, but I always say at least stick with the one. Next, you want to create class rules. I have mentioned in other videos, my personal class rules, I have two. It is to be a good, respectful listener and raise your hand when it's your turn to speak. I always identify those two class rules right from the start. Next, I'm moving on to the actual Outschool application lesson plan. So this is where I actually start planning my class. I do not do a very complicated lesson plan. This plan, I just write down how many minutes I want to do a task and then what the procedure or activity is. So I'm actually, like I said, going to share an actual example with you of a class I've actually taught in the past. I actually do have this class like before, during, and after on my YouTube channel if you want to check that out after you watch this video. But let's go ahead and complete this example. All right, so you can see the first thing I do, I said for 3 to 5 minutes, I want to introduce myself, go over the class rules and the lesson objective. I want to meet each student. So I actually greet each student. I say hello, and then I usually ask a question. This is a one-time class, so I'm just going to ask the students how old they are. Usually this class is geared towards students ages 4 to 6, so that is a complicated enough question for them. So that's my first task or procedure. And then I'm going to go to my next task. All right, so next is kind of a very, very short discussion I am actually going to have with my students. I am introducing the meaning of the word rhyme. So I'm going to ask my students, what is rhyme? And then can they think of 2 words that rhyme together? This will give me an idea of what my students in this class already know. Okay, in the next section, we are on to my next activity. And this is where I actually have decided to sing a song with my students. And it includes rhyming words. I actually have a presentation that goes with this song, and I will show you that very quickly as well. I did make this on Canva. And let me move myself. And you can see here, I just have the lyrics to the song Down by the Bay. So I would usually sing the song first. I would sing these lyrics, sing this one, and then I would try to include my students singing the next one. So Down by the Bay, we would do the whole thing. I would teach them a dance. And then we would say this one together and we would continue. And I would do that for about 5 minutes. And all of this I created for free using Canva. Now let's go ahead back to my actual lesson plan. That was for 5 minutes. After that, I want to see how much my students are learning from that song. And we're kind of going to do some practice. Now, I actually did buy a resource from Teachers Pay Teachers. This teacher did allow me to use her resource in my one-time class. I asked beforehand, but I bought this resource because it had flashcards and different activities that were already created. I could have, though, decided to make these own resources on Canva if I wanted, but I had a bunch of cards. And what I would do is I would actually show 2 cards to the students, and they would have to give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if the 2 words rhymed or they did not rhyme. So I'm now going to write that activity here. All right, and then the last activity was actually a worksheet that we would do together. Again, I actually got this resource from Teachers Pay Teachers just because I did not feel like creating this resource. I can say, though, I feel like 85 to 90% of the resources I use in my classes, I actually create personally, because obviously it saves you money. And then not all Teacher Pay Teacher creators are willing to share these resources for Outschool teachers. And you have to respect that. So if you ask a Teachers Pay Teachers creator if you can use their resource and they say no, you do not have the right to use that in your Outschool classes. So make sure you always get permission before you use someone else's resource. But here, it did save me time to purchase this resource, and I would actually just send this to the students, and together we would practice identifying different words that rhyme. And that was the entire class. So I was able to write everything down here and create a very simple first class. Now, at this age, when I teach ages 4 to 6, I usually have 2 to 3 activities just to try to have their attention span throughout the 30-minute class. Obviously, if this was an older group, maybe you would only have 1 or 2 activities. But I think you get the idea of how you can actually use this very simple lesson plan template in order to create a good Outschool class. And if you continue scrolling down this template, you will actually see I share another example with you. Now, this wraps up today's video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. That small action really helps support my channel. If you have not grabbed your freebie, I definitely recommend you do. The link is in my description box. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!